Senator Santorum.
Go Tigers! All right, you guys must be very, very important to get all these press people here to cover you. It's great to be here. Thank you so much. Let me thank Rock the Vote for inviting me here. In fact, inviting all the candidates here. I'm excited to be here. I'm here with some friends and some family. My friend here is Matt Schultz, who's the Secretary of State for the state of Iowa. And, Matt has been a good and dear friend and great advisor to me over the past few months, not just a few weeks. And of course, my family. Karen and I, as Lainey said, have been married for 21 years, and we have been blessed to raise 7 children, and 6 of the 7 are here with you today. Our littlest one, who's 3.5, is not here with us, but we're excited to be here, and of course the head of the household and been the rock that's been able to allow me to go out and be at 380 town hall meetings in the state of Iowa over the past year is my wife Karen. So I just want to introduce you to them and thank you for welcoming us here to Valley High School. I know that this is a big moment. All of you are going to have an opportunity to be able to vote in the caucuses tonight, and obviously I encourage you to do so. This is an important moment for our country. We're at a critical path. Every generation of leaders has an obligation to be able to pass on to the next generation something greater. I was very fortunate. I was raised in a family that was an immigrant family. My father and my grandfather were immigrants to this country. My dad came when he was all of 7 years of age. And it was instilled in me the greatness of our country, the foundational freedoms. My grandfather left. In fact, he left my father and the rest of the family behind when, in 1925, during Mussolini's reign in Italy, leading up to World War II. And he was not a fan of fascism and Mussolini. And he came to this country because he wanted to live in a country that believed in him, that believed in free people, that believed in the opportunity that any person could rise in society if they worked hard, got a good education, and played by the rules. That's what America always stood for. That bottom-up, entrepreneurial, individual spirit based upon strong families that molded and instilled values that were important for you to be success, like hard work and honesty and integrity. That is the real greatness of America. I would make the argument that there's a lot of people in America today, and unfortunately some in the White House, who don't believe that anymore. Who don't believe that America is a great country because we are great, because we have great people who build great things from the bottom up. But that America could be better if we built things from the top down. That may be the way other countries have done it. In fact, it is. But a lot of people who are in this country left those countries because, like my grandfather, they wanted a country that believed in him. He didn't get that kind of education. He was a coal miner. He ended up working in the coal mines till he was 72 years old. But he believed that if he could do his part, make the sacrifices that were necessary, that maybe someday his son would be able, and daughter would be able to go to college someday, which fortunately they were able to get. And now here his grandson is standing and running for President of the United States. That is a great country because we believe in free people and the ability to build something from the bottom up. You have a very tough choice to make. There are a lot of great candidates who are going to be out there, and many of them have spoken already. But you need to focus in on who is that candidate who has the vision for America, that's going to believe in the founding principles of our country and build this country, well, like our founders did, in believing in those freedoms that I've described. You know, I've always worked and talked to young people for all throughout my congressional career. I was elected in the Senate as the youngest United States Senator by far. I was 36 years old. I think the next youngest was 20 years older than I was. I was the second youngest when I was elected to the House. And I took a special responsibility to go out and meet with young people. I met with every high school group that ever came to visit me in Washington, D.C. because I wanted to remind them of some basic things. Number one. Okay, number two. I'll move along. Number one, And people would come and they'd say, oh, they want their picture with me, would you sign this? And it was great. I mean, it was wonderful that people were that respectful, but I always reminded young people that I work for you, not the other way around. And that you have to hold your representatives accountable and your president accountable. You may like them, they may be nice people, but you need to hold them accountable for what they do and the policies that are putting forward, and that means you have to be involved as citizens. You've got to read those blogs, you've got to read the news wires, you've got to have an understanding of what's going on in this country. Every decision that's going to be made here in the next few years, whether Obamacare is repealed or whether it's kept in place, whether taxes are going to grow, whether this deficit that is now crushing the economy and will crush your pocketbooks in the future is going to be dealt with so you won't have a lower standard of living. Those are the issues. You need to hold the president, presidential candidates, members of Congress accountable because it's your future. I know you're worried about your education, you're worried about the job you're going to get. Those are short-term worries. The longer-term problems are the ones that are going to affect you more profoundly. Hold those candidates to the standard of solving the intractable problems of an exploding federal government, of an exploding debt that's going to crush your economic future. Make sure that they stand up and deal with these systemic problems of entitlements. They deal with the systemic problems of a government that is doing more and more and giving you less and less freedom. That's what I would challenge you. Take a look. There are different ways of solving these problems. Barack Obama has one way and I have another. Look at them, make sure they're real, make sure that you can see how we can accomplish this vision of getting this economy going, not just in a short-term stimulus, but for long-term stable growth so you and your family can live free and prosper in a safe country. Ladies and gentlemen, I thank you so much for your interest in being here today. I thank Rock the Vote for what they're doing, and I wish you much success in your first vote at the caucus. Thank you.